folks.
So again, this is a special edition of Trip to the Mound. We're not recording a full-on episode, as you will, today, but we are doing something special in light of Tim Lincecum's no-hitter yesterday. Again, we've talked about this subject, and as recent as our last podcast, that the back end of the Giants' rotation really needs to be solid in order for them to have a strong chance going into the postseason. So what we're going to do today, Mike, is we're going to take a look at some highlights from Lincecum's no-hitter, and then some recent analysis of some of the kind of the lesser moments, and we're going to see if in between that you can give us a little idea as to where he benefits and where he runs into trouble.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm on it.
So again, we're starting out with just as we're looking at clips of him with the no-hitter.
He's getting pop-ups, he's getting ground balls, and he's getting some strikeouts. And see, those are off-speed pitches that those guys are out in front of, and they're getting under him. That pitch right there was right down the middle. Belt high. You know, the Padres and that pitch there is a ball that could have got hammered, and it was an atom ball at somebody.
What do you mean by that term, atom ball?
A ball hit at somebody.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's hit at him.
As opposed to the scientific atom. So,
Not that atom.
Gotcha.
Yeah. There's what looked like it was going to be a hanging breaking ball, but it backed up and went the other way, so it messed the hitter up. And there's a good breaking ball that was in the strike zone for a long time, and then at the end was on the dirt. There's the same thing, almost in the dirt. You know, if you ask any pitcher that's thrown a no-hitter without some kind of luck, you're going to have some balls hit. It seems like somebody makes it, in the third inning that you don't remember, a diving play, a backhanded play, a good defensive play, or you get a call on something or whatever. Those pitches are, he's got a little bit of movement if you look at him. But he made mistakes, but they didn't cost him.
But they're also pitches that, as a hitter, they're too close to take. I mean, they appear to be somewhere within the zone, even if they're breaking out of it at the last minute.
And what he's done is he's settled into a range of velocity where it's so much off speed that the hitter can be looking for it a little bit and still be out front and get under it and pop. That's why you're seeing the pop-ups, because they're out in front of his off-speed pitches.
So again, we've taken a look at the highlights from yesterday's no-hitter. Now I've punched up a couple of clips of places recently in, say, the last 4 or 5 starts where things haven't gone right. And let's start with an at bat to
Brandon Phillips.
To Brandon Phillips. Here we go.
So you see, he was out in front of that, but he wasn't under it, and just. The game is a game of inches. If that ball's foul, he gets to throw another pitch. Phillips is out in front of this. It's just that he stays with it long enough.
So again, another hot hitter, Devin Mesorasko for the Reds. Let's take a look at one of his at bats against Lincecum recently.
I could have hit that. Well, I mean, what you saw there was a straight fastball right down the middle that kind of just came. It looked like it was running in, but he caught it way before that. He was able to catch it before it got too far in on him.
Yeah.
Look, coming to the inside part of the plate, but nothing dramatic.
Here we go. This is the start prior to the no-hitter against Arizona, where he's facing Aaron Hill. Again, a local...
Our Visalia boy?
Yes, sir. So Let's take a look at this one.
See how he does? Game of inches. It's a hanging breaking ball, letter high. It's so slow that Aaron's out in front of it, but he stays with it just long enough, doesn't roll over it, and hits it right back up the middle. It's just a ground ball that just goes right up the middle.
Well, and then here's kind of a mash of the two. This is a recent start against the Mets, where you get to see a little bit of his highlights throughout the game. Now, this is a start where he's using the fastball.
But these are cutters. Those pitches are not straight. Those are moving. That's why they're missing them. They're wobbling and cutting, and.
But this has been part of his forte again, is that when it works, he's got a lot of movement on.
Well, yeah, but before when he's throwing 95 and 97, you got to realize that you've got to catch up to that. Him, being the type of pitcher that he is, used to throwing a lot of pitches to strike people out, because that's what he is. He's a strikeout guy, And
there's one to Curtis Granderson where, again,
that's right down Broadway.
A lot of what we saw with Meza Roscoe,
but straight and just kind of middle in at 90 miles an hour.
So again, consensus. We've looked at the clips of when it's stellar, and then we've seen some of the recent struggles. What do you think some of the necessities are for Lincecum going forward down the stretch?
I believe I talked about this, and now you see a little bit of an example of what I'm talking about. You have two different guys. You have the Tim Lincecum before, who's throwing 95 to 97 miles an hour, which puts the hitter on the defense right away, and making them chase bad stuff. And then if he can get command of the fastball, get his strikes when he needs it, blah, blah. So now you got the hitter on the defense. The Tim Lincecum we're seeing now is a guy that now has to turn the tide and convince the hitters that he can throw strikes. So he's got to put that thought in their mind, which you saw some of those nice cutting fastballs earlier where he's getting the strikeouts. Those guys are going to go back to the bench and say something. Somebody's going to see that they struck out. Nowadays, they're looking at the replays in the dugout with the technology. They're seeing that fastball with some nice little giddy up on there. I don't care what that gun says. That ball's thrown real well. It's got some cut on it. And a big league hitter swung and missed it. So that sends a message. And so now he can work off of that. And so what you saw him doing then was towards the end of the game was just throwing nothing but split fingers, which is cutting, his little change-up thing, whatever, and a breaking ball that he's dropping in there. And he's starting these pitches in the zone, and they're out of the zone. He got away with some pitches up. There were several that we looked at that could have got lamb-basted, and they weren't. There could be too slow where the hitter that day is not able to adjust enough and just roll over enough to get that ball hit on the ground to first or second base or whatever, shortstop, and make an out. So that's what we saw. That's the big difference, is that in the beginning of this, this little bit of a run where he's at now, and it's a struggle. He's been struggling off and on. He has to be able to be rethought of as a strike thrower. He cannot go out there and immediately start expecting to get people to chase stuff out of the strike zone, because they won't do it. They don't have to. They have a longer time to wait on his let the ball get to them, because he's not throwing 95 to 97 now. So they have a little bit more time to wait on him. So he's got to convince them that he's going to throw strikes. And then once he does that, then he can take and do what he does and gets people to chase completely out of the strike zone with movement. It's not straight.
Yes.
It's straight, it's going to get hit in the big leagues, Roy.
Yeah.
I could have hit a couple of those myself,
Yeah.
But so that's the big breakdown, the big difference. If you just saw, he was around the plate for the most part, but made when you have big league hitters swinging and missing, something's going on. You're in their head. You got to really get back and look at it and see what the deception is, what's going on. It was just slower than they thought, and then a little bit quicker than they thought. You know what I mean? On both ends of the spectrum, where they're thinking, well, this guy doesn't quite have his good stuff, but then, whoop, all of a sudden he's throwing a ball kind of like by you, and boom, strike three,
Yes.
So it sends a message, and then at the end, we're looking for the off-speed pitch, but it's off-speed, but it's a little bit more off-speed than they're anticipating, and they get to roll over on those and get the ground ball. So that's my big Timmy Lincecum breakdown analysis. We're not insiders either.
No, absolutely. But again, you heard it here first.
We're inside your kitchen.
We are in your kitchen, absolutely. And we are Trip to the Mound, the iBaseballChannel podcast. Roy Giovanoni, joined as always by Mike Lacoste. Again, thanks a lot for your insight to that. And of course, congratulations to Tim Lincecum for career no-hitter number 2.
Number 2, Timmy. Way to go.
Well done, number 55.